Crazy. Why is it? I'm gonna have to go in the other room. Hello?
Let me get my video on.
Hello?
Hi, Michaela.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
Okay, so
I'm so glad you out.
I'm sorry, you can go.
I was just saying, I'm so glad this worked out.
Yeah, me too. So I'm doing a project for advanced studies about social media and how it affects students, and then I'm gonna like kind of focus on high school environments. So I just want
Okay.
to kind of talk to you about it and like see if I can incorporate that in my research.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I just have a couple of questions for you. So if you're ready to start, then I'm ready to.
I'm ready.
Okay, so first off, I just want to start off with your name, your profession, and how long you've been working with that profession, or how long you've been practicing.
Yeah. So name is Amy, last name is Brutal. It's
Uh-huh.
Schmitz and hyphen Sciborski, Sciborski.
Okay.
And I've got my PhD in clinical psychology.
Okay.
And I think I so I for undergrad I went and got a bachelor's in social work, and then I went on and to do um, clinical psych because at the time that was like in the 90s, Kayla, and at the time social workers weren't doing as much like one-on-one work. I realized that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I mean, in this day and age, social workers are completely doing that. They just at the time it was kind of like, why don't you do that to go get your doctorate?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I started. I mean, really, my first job was in 1993, so it's been a while
Yeah.
that I'm doing this.
Okay, thank you. And can you repeat your last name, not Skaborski, but the last name you said before that
The
and spell it out?
Schmitz card, yes,
Uh-huh.
it's SCHMI,
Mm-hmm.
and then T as in Tom, Z as in zebra.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, for question number two, do you believe that the environment of a school has effects on students' mental and physical health? And then, as an extension of that question, the mental health of students, how do you think that influence a high school climate?
Good question. So yeah, I think both impact each other. I mean, you think about it, it's like a lot of your waking hours are spent in high school, so a good chunk of time. And the environment feels unsafe to someone or feels I don't know, like if they feel like they can't succeed there. I think that can all impact mental health for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, it's but in all different angles, right? Peers, it's teachers, the administration. It's like if you're going through your day and having negative experiences in any of those jobs, or even just academics, say you're struggling academically, it can
Mm-hmm.
definitely wear on your self-esteem and your confidence, which leads, to a lot of mental health issues. And likewise, I mean, it's kind of like who you're surrounded by. If you've got students there who are in a bad spot with their mental health, of course it's going to impact the people around them.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a pen that's working. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Take your time.
Found one.
Good, good. The other thing too, like I would say the biggest change that I've seen over the years in therapy is around social media, dating apps. It's like that. It's like just in therapy, first of all, like people can show you, right? Just things immediately. Like instead of having to be like, hey, this is what happened on the date and just explain it, or this is what happened when we talked. Like they have it in front of them and can read it to me
Right.
exactly, what the text was, or show a picture or show someone profile or something like that. So it's like as a therapist, you kind of have to adjust to that really being a part of people's therapy sessions too.
Yes. For my third question, you kind of just answered it, but like, what are some examples you see in your profession, like regarding students and their problems within schools?
So in high schools or within, because for a while, Michaela, I was doing like all my work was kind of in college counseling centers.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was at San Diego State, I was at Montana State, UNC, Chapel Hill. And, I think, I don't know, I think it's like we're like social media is amazing and keeping us connected, but it's like, of course, there's going to be people out there that use it to like, on varying levels bully,
Yeah.
and so it's more nuanced, right? It's like it can happen anonymously, or it can happen, or it's like in the old days, it's like people were being bullied. It was like kind of it was between them, the person, maybe whoever was in the class. Or now it's like them, the world,
Yeah.
it has further reaching implications.
Yes. And this kind of like steers away from my topic, but I wanted to ask you, like, how do you feel about the increase in like school shootings? And do you feel like there's a connection between school shootings and like high school environments?
Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is, I mean, this was just like so, and I say this to my daughter all the time, like, this was just not even on the table. Like this not happen, the
Yeah.
way that we see it happening now. And I mean, I think just that kind of safety piece that you guys have had to grow up practicing shooter drills. Like we did that for friggin' tornadoes. We weren't like
Yeah.
doing, if there's an armed person, it's like that. You start that young and it gets into your head, and then you see the news and hear the stories. And I do think there's this low level of that even being an option that stresses students out.
Mm-hmm.
And just school not being seen as, it's like right now, schools and churches are some of the most dangerous places you can be in. And those typically were sacred spaces where, mass shootings would not happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know the question about Like, is there something about a specific school that puts them at risk, like in terms of the mental health? Unfortunately, it's like, I think it can happen anywhere. And that kind of randomness of it
Yes.
makes us even more on guard, because it's like you can do all the right things
Mm-hmm.
and, something bad can happen. And I think, honestly, it's like through the course of time, like there's always kids that are like aggressive or, disturbed in some ways. But with the access to firearms, it's just like a horrible, you know, more access to firearms and students being, you know, still doing age old issues, trying to fit in and maybe not and all that stuff. But it's like it becomes deadly versus, just sad and hope they can go on to college and have like much better life, but
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes. And then my last question is, regarding the mental health of students and the environment of high schools, what do you believe to be like an effective solution to just improve both of those?
I feel like creating as much community as you can in a school and getting, instead of like talking at people at how they should treat their fellow students, like creating spaces where it's like, say you're at a really huge high school, it's like create smaller groups where students, and it's not just in the classroom where the student may or may not want to be there, like get them involved in what they love, have a volleyball club, have an art program, do put on plays so the students are into acting and have those interactions. Because I think like we're just less exposure is the key, exposure to one another, different types of people and different backgrounds and things like that. It's like usually it's so easy to just be like to other people and put people in these boxes, and then when you get to know them, that really breaks it down.
Mm-hmm.
So creating opportunities for students to connect. I also think it's so sad how these schools, like one counselor is responsible for 4 different high schools. It's like, that's just crazy. Like it doesn't, have enough space to.
Yes, because I remember because I had actually conducted a survey for high school students so that I could like hear from them. And a lot of people were saying like a lack of guidance counselors at the school was just like, it was like so bad. And that's something that they wish that they had, because if they did, they would feel better and more like belonging at the school, if that made sense.
Exactly. Yeah, like just having a place to go if you are running into a problem. And if it needs to be, more ongoing, if it's not just one stop solution, like having someone there that can help you find a therapist or. The other thing, Kayla, is 2020 really, in COVID and this whole everyone being out of school for a year and a half, pretty much. I think that really set people back, because it's like for middle-aged and older people, it's like, yes, losing kind of a year and a half of your life sucks, but it's not as quintessential of a year as it is for middle school or high school kids. I think that got people really isolated and like more social awkwardness. I mean, I don't know about you, but like after a year and a half of not really getting together with friends and going out and doing things, it was like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Like forgetting how to talk to people.
Definitely, that was definitely
interact and
yeah, because before
yeah.
COVID, I was already kind of like really shy and reserved, and it just kind of made it worse.
Yeah.
It was like really bad because I went into COVID, and that was the year that I was going into high school. So going into high school,
Oh,
and
that's
it's just
horrible.
so bad. Yeah, it was so bad. But
It's
I
horrible.
definitely get,
And
yeah,
then all of a sudden, yeah, and all of a sudden you're there as a sophomore, second semester. It's
right.
like,
Yeah,
you know, you only know your teacher's on a box, it's really, it was awful.
yeah.
The other thing I've noticed, like I think interesting with my clients, I still give them the choice to do online therapy or come in the office. And then once they're still online, I'm like, okay, is this really about being scared you're getting COVID, or are you
Yeah,
just hurrying up and avoiding a little bit?
yeah,
Because there is, you know, everybody talks about how social supports are so key for mental health. And that's true. Like we need people that we can count on and turn to. But there's like a secondary thing that is just community, like not necessarily friends, but just that you're walking into a grocery store without a mask on, chatting with the person who's checking you out. And
mm-hmm.
like it's not necessarily so support, community involvement, and we lost that community involvement. We felt, I think we really, that took a toll on people's mood.
Yeah, yes.
I
Well,
remember my oldest daughter was, when COVID hit, it was her freshman year as well.
uh-huh.
And when she got back, she was a junior, and I remember like they did these parent teacher meetings, and all these parents were like, how does my kid pass the AP exam and stuff like that? And this guy who's like, will tell it like it is like, you guys have much more to worry about with your kids than their
Right,
AP.
right.
Like these kids are juniors behaving like freshmen, like they're
Exactly.
not interacting, they're not asking questions. Like how would you've skipped all that?
Mhm. Well, that's all I have for you today. You answered all the questions really well. Um,
Oh, good. I hope it turns out well. It's a good project, Michaela.
yes, thank you so much again for being open to chat with me on late.
Absolutely. If you have any like follow-up ones, or you think of something later, just email or text me and I'll answer it.
Okay, thank you so much.
All
Have
right,
a,
take care.
you too.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.